Hi everyone, my name is Riley and welcome back to the books that I read this month. We are in May, which is crazy. We took a little bit of a hiatus there because I hit a slump and school got crazy, so no books for March and April, but here is May. First up, we finally finished An Academic Affair by Jodi McAllister. This is how you do fake dating. This is how you do it correctly. We have two professors who want to go after the same job. They've had a long history of being rivals, and we see how their relationship develops from there. I initially gave this book a 4 star. I think after letting it marinate and how I appreciate it over time, I feel like it started to become a 5 star for me, which I might end up changing in my People and Goodreads. If you are not following those, make sure you check those out. I review every book that I read, and I also have insights into what I'm reading next and books that I've already read. So if you'd like to learn more about my literary history, go check those out. Next up, I read The Upstairs Room. This is a book that I've had since I was in middle school that I never gotten around to until my parents brought it back up for me to read. So I decided to read it. And essentially, we're looking at the story of three sisters and what their life looks like. I believe they're in a village off of Amsterdam, and we're looking at what their life looks like in hiding. I gave this a 4 star because it does really depict what a child would be able to comprehend and understand during a time like this. However, it does certainly speak to the 1% of those who were in hiding during the Nazi regime. I would definitely teach this to my future students. However, I do think there are more accurate, honest depictions from actual Holocaust survivors. Next up, we have The Vanishing Half. If you're wondering why mine is so big, it's because it's the large print, just as a heads up. I also gave this 4 stars with the potential of it going up to a 4.5. I think the reason I am hesitant to give it a 5 star is because it does draw on for quite a bit, as seen by how thick this is. We're learning the story of two twin sisters who are in the Jim Crow South, one of whom decides that they would like to pass as white, and the other who's choosing to remain in their African American heritage. So we learn about their backstory. We end up learning about their children. While I do think this is a beautiful story, I think the children's lives could have been a separate book almost, or maybe even an epilogue. I think I would have loved to have learned about the sisters, taken a pause, and then moved on to the daughters. But overall, very well done, written beautifully, 4 stars. Next up, we have The House Across the Lake by Riley Sager. This book had so much potential. This book was so good up until the last quarter. And then we hit a point of possession. What are we doing here? What are we doing here? What do you mean, possession? I was not expecting it at all. It completely took me out of the book. It thoroughly disappointed me. I feel like this story could have gone so well in a realistic mindset. I did not expect that element at all, and it became what could have been a 5 star, immediately dropped down to a 2 star. I really would like to read more of Riley Sager's books because I believe he's an excellent author. However, I hope that his stories are rooted in more realism than this one was. Next up, we have the first two books of this Abby Jimenez series. We have Part of Your World, which was a 4 star for me, and we have Yours Truly, which was a 5 star. Part of Your World starts off with a doctor in a hospital in which her family has been the head chiefs of for 125 years. And she breaks down in a town where our male main character lives. We get to see their dynamic and how their lives start to become intertwined. And then Yours Truly is based off of the female main character's best friend Brianna, and the new head of and one of the new doctors that has entered the hospital since our female main character has left. I enjoyed yours truly more than I did Part of Your World, only because both of these books are very rooted in, no, this, we can't do this. How could we possibly make this happen? Especially in this one. This is especially that, which I found to be very frustrating at times because it's just, you can make it work. You can, and you did. This plays into fake dating. I really related to the male main character as he suffers from a great deal of anxiety. And while there is a lot of communication, there's also a lot of miscommunication. So sometimes I got a little frustrating, but it was wrapped up very neatly in a nice bow. And it was my first 5-star in quite some time, unless you count Academic Affair, which is probably going to end up becoming a 5-star for me. Last but not least, we have my very first arc, which is such a huge honor to me. Thank you, Union Square and Co., for trusting me with this. I cannot show you the physical copy because it has not been released yet. We have White Rabbit by Abigail Rosemary. This book is everywhere. It was first introduced to me as a girl who lives in the house that Sylvia Plath grew up in, and I love Sylvia Plath. I think she was ahead of her time. She was taken way too soon from us. And if you like Sylvia Plath and some of the twisted stories that she has and some of the really honest moments that she has, you will love this book. It was insane. Our narrator slash main character is a child who has issues with mental health. So what we get comes in and out in waves, which I thought made for a really interesting understanding of what was going on. And in the end, it spoke to grief and how you cope from grief and how you recover. And it was beautiful. I cannot wait for everyone to have access to it. So make sure you keep an eye out for White Rabbit because that was another 5-star for me. Absolutely beautiful. And those were my May reads. If you enjoyed, I have 2 more months. If you enjoyed, you can check out my January and February reads. And if you enjoyed the books that I just showed, I have a whole new haul coming soon that will include some June and July reads. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.